Welcome, you're watching Kaleidoscope Srilanka Live News Capsule. This is Srilanka Live News Capsule. Welcome. October's apparel exports declined 20% year-on-year, a total of $330 million. From January to October of 2023, Sri Lanka had a 20.5% reduction in apparel exports year-on-year, and there are rumors about shutting down as much as 50% of the SMEs. Apparel is Sri Lanka's largest foreign exchange earner, and if this trend continues, what happens? Secretary General of the Joint Apparel Association Forum, Yohan Lawrence, joins me today. 20% reduction in apparel exports in October. What is the industry looking like right now?
So right now we are seeing the continuation of a decline in apparel, which started pretty much over about a year ago. And this has come primarily because of a reduction in demand in our main markets. So the US, the EU and the UK, which together account for about 85% of our exports. So this is causing a reduction in demand, which is also coming at a time when in 2022 there was probably a bit of over-enthusiasm where people bought a lot of stock. So right now we're seeing a position where brands are holding a lot of stock, and at the same time the sales are low. So in that backdrop, we're seeing this reduction.
So are we going to be seeing closures of factories? There's a talk of SMEs, 40 to 50% SMEs being closed down.
We saw this coming. In fact, JAAF called this out well over a year ago. So really from that time, factories have been making these adjustments in terms of not recruiting in new people and so on. And therefore there would have been a natural downscaling of the industry. There have been some isolated cases of factories which have either temporarily or permanently closed, but that is really the one-off, and is definitely not the state, not correct to state that all of 50% of factories have closed right now.
So how has the global market changed? What are the asks by your end consumer?
When the consumer has less money in his or her wallet, then unfortunately his or her primary ask is price. So price is becoming very key. And in a situation where you have an excess of supply over demand, that drives price down as well. The piece that Sri Lanka needs to be careful of is to make sure that we can still offer product competitively. So the cost of production in Sri Lanka is something that we have to be very conscious of, because that is leading into the price that manufacturers can offer. And therefore, if you're not on the price, then we do stand to lose out.
Where do the challenges lie?
One is, of course, when you have a reduction in scale, that in itself leads to an increase in price. And Sri Lanka has never been a large-scale producer, but now that everybody is operating at 18, 20, 25% lower, there is an impact on cost. So managing costs at the moment is going to be really key. And this is something that industry is going to have to look at in order to be able to ride this out until the point when things start picking up.
So we can't dictate consumer patterns, but we can dictate how we move forward. Where would Sri Lanka's competitive edge lie?
As always, Sri Lanka has to be continue to be ahead of the curve in this. So if you look at things like the movement around the ethical side of it and so on, Sri Lanka is well ahead of its curve from Garments Without Guilt and so on. So this platform gives us something that we can build on, particularly around areas of circularity and areas of sustainability.
Don't forget to subscribe and follow us for updates. Kaleidoscope is on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn.
You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. Srilanka Life.